Recording? Okay. All right. Maxwell, it's good of us to have you join us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. But like we discussed, yeah. But I'll be around though, so you can have it then. As soon as possible, I'll be chipping in things. But yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So basically we're just going to be doing a summary of what we did 2 days ago. And it's going to be more like a question and answer segment where we ask any questions relating to what we've learned so far and we find answers to these questions. So we are going to be working together to be able to give answers to everything we've done. So it won't feel as if we are doing things and not taking everyone along, because some people feel that we do not take everyone along. So we'll try to fix that. So first of all, does anyone have any question on any particular topic at all before we delve into our main focus of today? Highland Creations.
Yeah, yes, I'm listening loud and clear.
Yeah, do you have any questions related to any of the things we've done so far?
Okay, actually, I watched the previous session and actually I learned something and I did the questions. There were some questions that actually I did not know. So I think you did not cover, like there were some parts of the questions that you did not cover in the video session, the first part of share. Thank you.
Okay, so if I hear you correctly, there were some questions you did not get answers to, but now you understand them now.
Yeah, I did. That's what I saw when I reply the questions and like I don't know the answer. It shows me the answer. I didn't know that's how it works. You can proceed.
All right. That's good. All right. So, does anyone have any question to ask or anything at all that they do not understand? Okay, I'll take our silence as nothing. Okay. So, like I said, or like we mentioned in the description, we're going to be having a continuation of what we discussed 2 days ago, and we're talking about shell. Now, you all can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this basically is shell running on my Windows PC. All right, thank you very much, Max. So you'll be in the background answering questions here, so most definitely need you. So this basically is a shell. Now, like we said earlier in the previous session, we told everyone that we learned rather that the shell is the basic interface for interacting with our computer, or interacting with our computers, and we run different commands via the shell. So I'm currently using Ubuntu installed on my Windows. I'm not using VirtualBox. I'm not using Git Bash. This is Ubuntu. You can ask me if you need this. You can also ask, and the command to install it will be provided to you. I might even show or do the video of installation, how to install it. It's pretty straightforward. So it's an example of getting you started with bash, with shell. Now basically we've learned the definition of shell, and yesterday we did a quiz to test our knowledge on shell, and we ran a lot of commands. We practiced a lot of commands, and we were made known of some commands we're not even familiar with during the quiz. So now, just to recap, can someone tell me what this command I'm about to enter, what it will do? Can someone tell me any suggestions? And I'll be picking at random as well. So I'll just be picking at random. Okay, let's just do it that way. Let me pick at random. This command, you can see the command on my screen, ls, right? If I should run this command, what will what will be the output, or what will my terminal give to me? What am I telling the terminal in general? Let's see. Kelvin, can you tell us what the ls command means? If I should enter this command, what output should I expect to see?
Okay, it's going to list the files in that directory.
Okay, it's going to list the path directory. Is that what you said?
It's going to list the files in that directory.
Okay, files. Okay, it's going to list the files in that directory. All right. Now, I currently don't have anything on my Ubuntu, so let me just go to Git Bash. Let me just use my Git Bash, because there I have more. Yeah, let me just use Git Bash. So let's use Git Bash. Sorry, I ran it twice. Okay. So now I have my terminal here. Let me just share it as well, so it's clear. Okay. So now I have my terminal, and I'm about to run the command ls. It's going to list all the files in that directory. So let's see, ls, and we have it. We now have all the files in my directory. So this is an example of a Linux command, that we can run via the terminal and give us output. So that's the first one we talked about, the ls command, and I can access any of these folders or files from this list here. So moving on, we also have another command, mkdir. So let me ask again at random. Okay, let me clear the terminal so we see it clearly. Okay, so mkdir. T-Tech, can you tell us what this command does?
So the command is to create folders or directory. Yeah.
Okay, so create a folder on the current directory.
Yeah, to create a folder or directory. To create a folder or a directory.
Okay, to create a folder or a directory. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Now, I have another question. Okay, let's just see if it's correct. Now, T-Tech, still with you now. What else should I pass as a parameter to mk or make directory? What else can I pass in? Or should I just type mkdir and hit enter? What should I do next?
You have to, how will I put it? The name of the folder or the directory you want to create. So it should be mkdir. So maybe like git folder, or the name you want to name the folder, the name you want to give to the folder would come after the mkdir command.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the name of the folder I want to create. Okay. So let's see if it's correct. For example, let me just create a folder called T Tech. Big directory tech. and I can see that I have no error message or anything. It just goes to the next line and asking me for my input. It means that that directory has been created. Now, here comes another question. What do I expect to get when I run mkdir test1, test2, test2 and test3? What do I expect to get when I run this command? Abegunde Adedayo, can you tell us, please, what I'm expected to get when I run this command?
Sorry, I actually missed yesterday class, and I've been having problem with this coming online, and because of the network here. So
Okay. Okay. Were you able to watch the session, or you couldn't do that as well?
I couldn't, not really, just skipping, because of the network.
Okay. Understand.
But I have it downloaded already, so I can check when I have a good network.
All right. Okay. Ayodeji Olorutoba, can you please help us out? What is the expected output? Are you there with us, Ayo? Okay, Eminent, can you help us out?
I don't really know, but I'll try. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I
Sorry,
think for the test
Okay.
one.
Eminent, please. Let's just listen to Ayo. I think it's back now.
sorry. The call was on mute. I didn't know. I was just talking and
Okay.
talking. From what you from the command you entered earlier, the mkdir tag, I believe it's the same thing with the mkdir test 1, test 2, test 3. Maybe it's going to create multiple folders, I guess.
Perfect answer. So if I run this, it's going to create 3 different folders because I just gave it 3 parameters. I gave it the first parameter test1, the second parameter test2, and test3. So I'm basically telling it to create 3 folders. Now, this is important to note because sometimes you might want to create a folder that has spaces between the names. Like, for example, I want to create a folder called my folder. Now, it will not create the folder as my folder. Instead, it will create a folder called my and create another folder called folder. So this is the reason why I actually brought this up, because we might just feel like, when we create the folder on our graphical interface on either our Windows, or when we create it on our graphical interface, we can specify the name. You can just say my folder. You can give it a lot of space and it will still create the folder for you. To not create multiple folders. But when it comes to using this command, on the terminal, it is important to know that giving it a space will explicitly tell the make directory command that you are creating separate folders. So you can either let me put the question to everyone now. In order to avoid this error, what else can we use to specify the folder name? I want to create a folder via the terminal using the make directory command. I want to create a folder called my folder, and I know I cannot give it a space. What else can I do in order to properly format that name so it will be more readable for me? Should I attach it together, or what should I do? What do you think? Any answer from the audience? Who else? Ariana, can you help us out? Okay, I think she's still on mute again.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, sure. Ayo, you can.
Yeah, I believe if you input the underscore between the my and the folder, she creates the folder as my folder, right?
Again, perfect answer. Yes, that is a way we can properly format it. We can use an underscore. Let's just quickly say it. We can say instead of my folder, we can say my folder. And we can also say, okay, now this is one solution. Eminent, can you think of another solution for us to properly format our folder name? This is the current one we have, my folder.
No idea actually.
Okay, Maxwell, can you give us one way we can properly format our folder name? Okay, so you just specified something for us. Thank you very much, Maxwell. Indeed, you are in the background, directing the flow of things. Thank you once again. So basically, we can add a backslash before the space, and then add the remaining names. Let's see how we can do this. Make directory, add the backslash, and then before the space, and then the remaining names. Okay, let's just say let me just do it on my desktop. So let me navigate to my desktop. I'm using this command cd, cd desktop. So I'm on my desktop. You can see I'm on my desktop. These are all the files on my desktop. So sorry, I'm using Windows Terminal. So clear. I'm on my desktop. So mkdir backslash and then before the space. And then okay, yeah, my then backslash for the space and then folder. So basically,
slash, not a front slash.
what?
A backslash, not a front slash.
Yeah,
A
true.
backslash.
I tend to mix that up. Okay, so my folder, and then let me share my desktop screen so we see it. Okay, so this is my desktop and this is bash. So I'm about to run this command, my folder. Let's see. Do we get the folder? Okay. Now here we have it here. My folder. Can we also see the folder that was created with the properly formatted string? Let me see if I can. Sorry, the properly formatted folder name. Let me see if I can increase the size. Here it is here. My folder. The name was properly formatted. So let's see if we can run that command again. Let me clear my terminal to see if we all followed. Ayo. Okay, no, not Ayo this time around. Highland Creations, can you tell us? It's still on the group chat. The process. Can you call it out for me? I want to create a folder called pre-learning session. Pre-learning. The pre-learning will be separated by a hyphen. Pre-learning session. Then the session will be separated by a space. So pre-learning session, that is the name of the folder I want to create. I do not want to use any of the conventional method of formatting the folder names, like either giving it an underscore. I want to type it exactly as I've explained it. Can you tell us how we can go about that from what we just learned? What's the first command?
Yeah, honestly, actually, I did not get that part well. Could you please just ask someone else because I did not get that part well. I just know about the forward slash. That's what I just got.
Okay. You can see my terminal clearly, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So basically, okay, before I answer the question, who would love to help him out? T-Tech. Let's go with you again.
Yeah. What was the question again? Sorry. The line is breaking, so I didn't really get the question.
Okay. Did you
Okay.
follow along when we created the folder with a space? The folder called my folder.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you replicate that command for us? The command and the parameters we passed to it.
For creating
A
the
folder
folder.
with the folder name having a backspace, because we just learned that specifying or giving it a backspace, something like this mkdir my
Yeah.
folder, it will create two folders for us instead of one. How can we properly create a folder called my folder
Okay.
without formatting? Yeah.
Okay. Then as you did before, you can type mkdir space
Okay.
my then the
My.
backslash, yes, then the space, then folder.
Okay. Yeah. So are you talking about this slash or this one?
I can't really see
Okay, sorry. Let me make
that.
it more clearer. Let me make it more clearer. Okay.
Yeah. No, the other
So I
slash,
make
yeah, the other one.
okay the other one. This one.
Yeah. Exactly. Then the space,
Okay. Then okay. Then space. Then what else?
folder.
Okay. Folder. Okay, I already have a folder called that. So let's just give it another name. So folder one and run. All right, that is correct because it's on my screen now, my folder one. It has been created. So this is an example. Again, thank you very much, Maxwell. This is an example of how we can create folders with the proper name instead of running into that issue of it creating multiple folders for us. All right. So I believe we've had considerable knowledge about that specific command, make directory command. So it's a very powerful command. We can use it to make directories, and we can use it to to make directories, of course. So another command during our experiment, or while we're working with this make directory, I ran a new command cd, change directory, basically to go to another directory, to go to a new directory or go to the previous directory. Can someone tell me now? I'm currently in desktop. This is my current directory, desktop. Can someone tell me the command? How do I go to the previous directory I was in, or the directory before desktop? How can I go back to the previous directory? Let's see. Ariana, I'm coming back to you again. Can you help us out with that question? How can I go back to the previous directory? Any idea?
Can I
You're
try?
still on mute. Okay, sure. Eminent, go ahead.
Okay. So for if you are going back to the folder called
Yeah.
my folder one, we'll use
Okay,
a command.
let me just go into that folder. CD my folder. Yes, I have a folder called my folder already. So now I'm currently in a folder called my folder. How do I go back to desktop?
You just use the command cd only, then to go back to your desktop
Okay, is that your
without.
final answer?
Yes, that's what I suggest. You just use cd without
Okay,
giving any other command to it.
okay, let's test it. CD. Oh, sorry. Let's see. CD. Okay, yeah. It worked actually. Yes. Let's go in. I think I did it twice actually. CD. Let's stop. Yeah. I'm just clear so it's more readable. CD my folder. and you said CD.
Yeah.
So what do you notice actually?
The question is it on me?
Yeah, it's on you because you mentioned using the CD, just CD. Now you should notice something. Our current directory before we ran CD is my folder. That was our current directory.
Yeah.
And we're asked to return to desktop. And you told us to run CD, which we did. And now we are obviously 2 folders down the line to our home or to our base folder.
Okay.
So it's obvious that something is missing, right?
Yeah.
Because we not only left my folder, we also left desktop. So let's go back to the folder. Desktop / my folder. Now, you can also specify this using the / and it will go to the folder you want it to go to. The / is it the / or the / actually? I tend to mix them up. And it will go to desktop and my folder. Yeah, it's the /. So the desktop / my folder. We are here again. Can someone else suggest how can we go back to desktop?
So to desktop, that'll be using CD space dot. That will take us back to desktop.
Okay, you just suggested CD space dot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see if it works. All right, from the look of things, it did work. So we are currently in desktop. We are currently in desktop. So it means that if we want to go to the previous directory, we can run cd ... and it takes us one directory down. Okay? So that is the usage, how we can return back to the previous directory. And I ran one before this, how we can go to a specific directory without calling CD multiple times. And I said CD, we're currently in desktop. Okay, so let me just go back to our home. I say CD, I want to access a folder called my folder, obviously in desktop. And I don't want to run CD desktop, and then CD my folder. I just want to type everything on one line. What can I do? I can simply say CD desktop / my folder. If there's another folder inside, sorry, it's not correct. If there's another folder inside my folder, I can also specify. So CD / desktop / my folder, it will take us directly to that folder. So now that's sorry, I keep saying CLS. It's used to me. So that's an example of how to navigate. Now, are we all familiar with VS Code, Visual Studio Code?
Yeah, a little.
I'm familiar with it.
Okay, now if you have it installed, you notice that if you run a specific command on your terminal, it will pop up or it will create a file. You can actually use your terminal to create a file and Visual Studio will open that file for you. The the command is code and whatever you want it to. If you just pass in code, it will just run Visual Studio for you. So code. Now this is the command used to run Visual Studio Code. Now, yeah, it's opened now on my PC. Let me see if I can share my screen. Screen 1. Okay. So you can see it's opened now. It's opened on my screen because I have I did not specify a file for it to open, so we just open my saved work. Okay, so let me just quickly close that up. It's actually a project. So let me specify now. Actually, let me create a new file. Let me specify it and create a new file called what should we call the file? Okay, code session.txt. Now I just created a text file called session.txt. Let me share the screen again. I just created a text file called session.txt, and you can see it here. The file is called session.txt. So now, and we won't be working with Visual Studio Code, okay? We are going to be working with some commands. We are going to be working with command line editors. And during the entire course of our ALX onboarding sessions, we are going to be working with Sandbox. Okay, Sandbox is just like the terminal ALX provides for us, so which is why we have been asked to get acquainted or get used to some basic Linux command. It's actually the very first thing on our curriculum. So we're going to be using some command line editors like Vim, Maxwell. I think there are about two. I think VI and Vim are basically the same thing. And then we have Emacs, right? Emacs, is it Emacs?
Yeah, there's Emacs and there's Nano.
Okay, yes. Emacs, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going to be making
But
use.
VI and Vim are basically the same thing. Like Vim is an improved version of VI.
Okay, so Vim is the pro version, the full version of VI. Yeah. So
improved version of VI.
Improved version of VI. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Vim is the improved version of VI. So yeah, we basically will be going to that next. We're going to be talking about Vim, how to install it, and Emacs as well. Basically, how to use these editors. Now, the reason I kept my screen open is there is actually a site. I don't know if I still have it, but let me see. Vim tutorial. I'm trying to get it. I thought it was on my search history. Okay, yes, it is. It's on my search history. So now this tutorial, have you come across it before when preparing for the, when they gave us the link to the pre-ALX, I've forgotten the exact name, but we received a link through our email and we're asked to go through the website, and then we saw some things basically where we're asked to fill forms and submit forms on our knowledge about some of these things. Did you come across this by any chance? Do you know if you come across this by any chance?
Yeah, I came across it.
Okay. And did you get familiar with it?
Well, I didn't really get familiar, but I think I knew some command where you can navigate your cursor, I guess. So that was, well, at some point, I couldn't proceed again, so I had to just quit.
Okay. Now, for new beginners, because actually I think I know just a little bit about Vim, just a little bit, because again, working with shell and working with terminals and working with command line editors are not my forte. I'm more like a graphical based guy. Okay, I think this is more common for people who are more into cybersecurity. So they mostly work with terminals, so they must have come across this. People like Maxwell, yes, lazy programmer. We know you eat this shit for breakfast. Excuse my language. You eat this for breakfast. Am I right? This is nothing new for you.
I'll try my best.
We try our best as expected. So yeah, for those of us just seeing or hearing about Vim for the first time, Vim is basically a command line editor. Okay. Now, well, that's why I asked if we're familiar with Visual Studio Code or any of our editors. Now, these editors are more fun to play with because I'm talking about the one we have installed currently on our PC, which is either Visual Studio Code, Sublime, Atom, even Notepad. So these are all basic text editors. But when it comes to command line editors, it is another field entirely, a different ball game entirely. And it has a lot of rules. It has a lot of, Vim, for instance, has a lot of shortcuts. The main aim or the main focus for Vim is to make things more easier for you to access. It deals basically with shortcuts. So instead of commands, there are a lot of commands you can use for basically anything you would want to perform. Instead of you scrolling over 10,000 lines of code, you can actually type in that command via Vim and it will get you to that particular line you are searching for and the particular character in the line you are searching for. So that is how powerful Vim is. Okay, it gives you 100% control over your code in terms of making it more easier and faster for you to access things. Now, that being said, most people complain that Vim is actually quite hard to use because, of course, it deals with shortcuts and command, and as a result, you have to learn some of these shortcuts. You have to be conversant with them so that you can use them without even thinking about them. There are lots of commands, like I've mentioned, and I think one of the most popular questions people ask is, how do I exit Vim? I've seen that question a lot. Even before I've come across Vim, I was like, what is Vim? People are asking, how do they, a lot of questions on Stack Overflow, how do I exit Vim? Let me see if I can show an example. How do I exit? You can see it's exactly the first thing on my search. How do I exit Vim? So it's really popular. People always search for questions like this. How do I exit Vim? So they feel like Vim is really hard. It's really hard, but it is not if you know what you are doing and if you take things slow. So this tutorial, Vim, it basically guides you through on what you need to get started with. So it has your normal keyboard and it will tell you what to type. So you can go through this tutorial if you haven't already. You don't need to learn all the keys, obviously. You can just go through the tutorial, and after the tutorial, it will sort of like open up for you to be able to practice. Yeah, it will become let's just say it will come with the training wheels off, because currently the training wheels are on. You know, when you're riding a bike for the first time, most people use training wheels so they don't fall. And soon, when it gets better and better and better, they remove the training wheels and they start riding it on their own. So currently, this tutorial, it has a training wheel, and you can see an example is this keys blinking. It will tell you the keys to press, so you don't need to start searching which keys to press. So it's obviously asking me to press enter, and I did, and it has continued. So you can go through it. I don't think it will be beneficial if we go through it here on the session. Do you want us to go through it here on the session or individually? What do you think? Do you want us to complete this tutorial here? Or should we skip this tutorial? And obviously anyone else can go to let me just paste the link in case we don't have it. Yeah, I think for time's sake, let's just skip the tutorial and let's just skip the tutorial. So I'll paste the link.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Quick question. You said Vim is also a code navigator like Visual Studio. Am I correct?
Yes, it's a text editor like Visual Studio, but it is run on the command or on the terminal. Yes, It's a command line editor.
So it runs directly. Like I want you to please explain that terminal
Okay,
stuff like that, because Visual Studio for
okay.
me,
So
Visual Studio has its terminal too, but
yes,
it's
Visual Studio. Okay. Now your question signifies that you still don't know the difference between the Linux terminal and the Windows terminal. Am I right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. We explained this during the last session, but let me just quickly explain it again. Okay. So currently we have our normal Windows terminal, right? This is our normal Windows terminal. Now, this Windows terminal is the same terminal on Visual Studio Code. Okay?
Yeah.
So Visual Studio Code has the same terminal. It shows uh, Windows terminal instead of Bash or instead of any other terminal, except to call it. Now, Bash, the difference between Bash or the difference between a Linux terminal and Windows terminal is because of the commands or the parameters they accept. For example, you can see both terminals, right?
Yes, I can see them, but I literally have to zoom in to see them clearly. But yes, I can see them.
Okay, yeah, it's quite tiny. Yes, but I'm just trying to make an explanation. Okay, let me just see if I can just show them individually. First, let's start with Windows terminal. So now we have Windows terminal. Remember the first command we run, I think it was mkdir. Yes. Now, okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Mkdir. Now, mkdir it works on Windows terminal. But an example, ls does not work on Windows terminal. Can you see that ls is not recognized as an internal or external command? So the functions, or there are a lot of limitations on Windows terminal, which is why we are asked to use the Linux terminal, because we have more functions and more options available for us. So do you understand that now? Do you tend to get the difference? It's basically Windows is restricted. Let's just use that word, restricted. We do not have enough functions or enough commands
Enough
to
functions open
use,
for
yes, to
to run on
use
Windows than to run on
Windows terminal. But
Linux.
on the other hand,
It's just like
on the other hand, yes, yeah, I'm hearing you say something.
yes. So it's just like the Apple and the Android. We can't run much operating settings or functions on the Apple iPhone, but on the Android we can. We have numerous operating settings we can actually operate on. In fact, we even have the developer options, something like that. Am I correct?
Yes,
Or
yes,
not? Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that's a good analogy actually. Apple and Android, they obviously have different capabilities. So that is how it is. Linux gives us more freedom. We have the freedom to run many commands that are not available on Windows. ls obviously works. Now there's nothing on my folder, so there's a blank line. So hope that answers your question about the difference between the Windows
Yes.
terminal and okay. So now
Yes, it does.
back to your
I
original
sorry, I
question.
wanted to also ask, can you please tag the link to the Linux operating system to download so that I can actually run it now on my system as sessions are going on. So I
Okay,
can
okay. Do you want the link to this Ubuntu, or you just want have you installed Bash, Git Bash, or do you want the exact one I'm using?
I haven't installed Git Bash yet. The last two sessions, because I haven't I wasn't available the last quiz we had yesterday, but the last session we had day yesterday, you said something concerning Git Bash not able to access most of the commands. It's not like Linux. It has some few restrictions that you can't do on like Linux. So you also said something concerning there are some Linux operating systems which are not like which doesn't cover everything. Like they have different versions, and to get the particular ones that can cover what the requirement we need or cover everything we would actually need. You said something concerning like sending a link for that, but I don't know which one exactly we can get. You said you can just browse online and download one directly, but due to the restrictions you said some Linux operating system has, I don't know how to go around it. So I need a particular one. If you can just send a particular download link for one that I can just run directly, because I feel since due to the fact that you are doing most of these things on your system and I'm actually using my phone, I won't learn much. So I just want to be practical, if you understand what I'm talking about as a teacher.
Okay. I don't think I was one who actually said that. Okay, I seem to remember when I explained the difference between the Windows and how Windows had its own limitations compared to Linux. But I don't remember saying. Of course, on the group chat, I said that there are different distributions. There are different Linux distributions, and I mentioned Kali Linux. I mentioned Ubuntu, and I said for the sake of our program or for the sake of ALX, we're going to be doing more of coding and not into cybersecurity or hacking, ethical hacking. So we can stick with Ubuntu instead of Kali Linux because it's more. That one is more oriented. The main name of or it's more oriented
Sorry, you said we
to
can stick to Ubuntu or something. I didn't get that part clearly.
yeah, I said we can stick to Ubuntu instead of Kali Linux because Kali Linux is more oriented to hacking and cybersecurity and penetration testing and stuff like that. But with Ubuntu, we can have a more, of course, Ubuntu is still tailored towards that, but it's more let's just say user friendly. Okay, let's see, programmer Maxwell. Do you have anything to contribute to that? I don't think Maxwell. You're still muted.
Sorry, can I also add something? On the courses we have
Okay.
available, cybersecurity is among. So does it mean that for now, since we haven't gotten to the cybersecurity course part yet, we won't need a particular software or operating system?
No, we can still make very good use of Ubuntu, okay? We can still make very good, as long as it's a Linux-based operating system, we can make use of it. There's nothing wrong with it. The reason why I said for the
All
purpose is
the
because
quiz
we're
we
trying to
get is
tailor our
recorded at like
sessions
5
so it
p.m.
handles the items on our curriculum chronologically. Like we have the
Okay.
first sprint, and the first sprint is obviously about Git and command line editors.
Yes.
We talked about Git a little bit, and now we're talking about a command line. We're talking about the shell, and we're talking about we'll delve into what's it called again?
Are you
Command
finished your
line
phone?
editors in a bit. So we are
Are you
trying to
finished
take
your
it
phone?
chronologically, which is why I made that statement that it's not yet time for that. Or for the purpose of ALX, let's take our
What
mind
is
off
your phone?
that for now. Let's try to deal with it chronologically so we
Which one are
won't
you using for now?
feel overwhelmed with the amount of information we are made to understand. Now,
Yeah,
the
so
reason, the main purpose of
this
this
one.
session is because we are expected to have at least 80 hours every week once the program starts. 80 hours
Currently,
every
I'm
week.
in a
We are
class
just trying
online,
to,
so I want to
we are
complete the
just,
class so that I won't be distracted. So immediately I'm done, I'll definitely call you. Oh, Jesus,
okay,
sorry.
we are just, okay, thank you. We are just trying to take things, help ease the burden so it won't be overwhelming when that time comes. So our main aim is to systematically and chronologically go through all the sprints in our curriculum, attack we are going to attack all the topics in these sprints one by one. So we started with Git. We started with C actually. We started with C, how to install code blocks, and we entered Git, and then we entered. Now we're talking about Shell, and obviously we just have a little bit of taste of Vim, which is a command text editor, a command line based editor. So we're trying to take it step by step. So hope we're all following this now. So obviously the next thing for us is to be working with Vim. So does anyone here have their laptop on and connected to their Linux operating system? Anyone?
My laptop is. I want to try to download the Linux
Yeah,
operating system
does my
now.
booking is on too.
Okay. So
I have the Linux
you can
system.
just
Still need the link.
okay. So you can just go through. For the sake of those just joining us, Priscilla, good evening. Can you hear me, Priscilla?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So I believe you just joined us, right? You just joined the call.
Yes, I just joined.
Do you understand what you're seeing on the screen?
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Do you have any previous knowledge about programming?
No, I don't. I'm a beginner.
Oh, okay. That's fine actually. All right. So okay. Eminent, can you just do a recap of what we've just talked about? Eminent, are you there?
Oh yes, yeah.
So
I'll
please
just
help
try.
us do a recap.
Okay, let me just try. So we're actually talking about certain Linux command, like how to create a folder, how to navigate back to our main, to our desktop, and the rest of it. So we talk about some commands like make directory, that's an mkdir, that we use it to create a directory. Then in order for us to, that we can still use it at the same time to name the folder, to know the exact name of the folder we're creating. And then you're writing it. Okay. Then we also talk about the another command, that's ls, that is used to list our file. Then we talked about cd as well, is another command that is used to change our directory. That's the way I can add to it.
Thank you very much. I think it might still be a bit confusing for you because you're just hearing, right? Am I correct? You're just hearing all these commands for the very first time, right? You're hearing these things for the very first time.
Well, I read on some of these commands and like the make direct, the lists, the change directory, the touch. I've read on some of them, so
Yeah, you just mentioned another one, the touch command.
yes.
And can you tell us what that touch command does?
I read that it's used to create a new file.
Correct. Yes. So, good job reading ahead. Good job. And being able to recall what you've read. That's great. So, you're not far off from where we began and where we're headed, okay? So that's what we've been doing. We've just been playing around with these commands, acclimatizing ourselves to this command so they don't seem like too much information to process. And then obviously our main objective would be to delve into Vim command line editors or command text editors in our subsequent sessions. Maxwell, you're good on that, right? Still not here. Okay. I guess I'll have to ask him about that later. So obviously he's a pro when it comes to using command line editors, command text editors. Unlike me, I don't use them at all. I use our normal editors. I use Visual Studio. I use Visual Studio Code. So more information we get about this, the better. And like I've explained about Vim, because I have some basic knowledge about it, it can be overwhelming for beginners. It can be overwhelming for beginners, but do not let that discourage you. So we are going to, in our next video, we are going to show you or show everyone how to install it. We are going to run the tutorial, and then we are going to create a file using Vim. We are going to make changes to the file, and then we are going to exit Vim. That's what we are going to do on our next tutorial. So, right. So at this point, it's already an hour into the session, and we have less than 30 minutes. So now let's turn this into a discussion. Now, in terms of turning this into a discussion, I want this to be a platform where we ask questions, even though the questions are not related to the topic we just discussed. So long as the programming questions and there might be errors we encountered when we're reading or something, perhaps something we do not understand, we can bring them here and then we can all share light to it. So let's just see how we can help each other out so that we all progress together. Because of course we can have a session where only one person talks, you just talk and talk and talk and talk. And at the end of the day, no one really understands a thing. You might just ask, do you understand? And everyone says yes. At the end of the day, you don't understand anything. So do not want it to be like that. That is why everyone here has been contributing. I make sure that everyone here contributes. It actually proves that we are listening and we are understanding. And we're not taking things all at once. We are processing it gradually, which is why I do not want us to go into Vim. We'll do that or handle that in our next session. So yeah, let's start with you, Priscilla, again. You are literally at the top of the list. Do you have any questions, any programming questions, or any phrase you do not understand?
I have some. I just have questions. So one of my questions is actually.
Wait, sorry, Trust. We'll get to you. We'll get to you, please. Thank you. Priscilla, please continue.
Yes. So I currently do not have any question, but my only I'm yet to get a laptop, but I'm getting it before the training starts. I just want to find out if you see the terminal you're using now, how do I get it? Would I have to install it, or a link will be shared, on the intranet or something? That's one thing I've been wondering and thinking about.
Okay, that's actually a good question. How to get a Linux terminal? I think did I drop the link? I think I dropped the link on the group chat. Let me see if I dropped the link. No, I did not drop the link. Okay, I'll drop the link to. There's actually a command to install this in Windows. There's actually a command. I think it's WSL. Let me see if I can type it. let me see, wsl-install, something like this. You just run, let me share my screen. Let's see it.
You can't see your screen.
Yeah, hold on. Let me let me share it now. Sorry. CMD. Okay. Share screen. All right. wsl-install. Wait, wsl/install. I'm trying. Okay, yes. So that is the command, and it's launching Ubuntu. It just launched Ubuntu for me because it is installed. So basically, the command is wsl, then a space, then 2 hyphens, then install. So let me correct my initial message. So you just run this on your Windows terminal, and Windows will do the rest for you.
Thank you.
Sila, do you understand what we just did? This is how I installed Ubuntu on my system. This is how I installed this on my system.
Sorry,
hello.
are you saying it's not compulsory we have Ubuntu on our system, right? Like the what's it called?
The main file, the graphical interface and everything.
Yeah, what if I already have the Oracle VirtualBox?
Yeah, if you have the VirtualBox, it's fine. You can also make use of that. No need running. No need to run that. No need to run this command I just run. But if you just need the terminal, just easy access to the terminal from your Windows without trying to open the Oracle VirtualBox, you can just run that command, or you can just go to your Windows and just.
I think I'll go with the WSL install. That's faster, unlike the VirtualBox.
Okay. So you can just install it on your Windows terminal, and it will pop up anytime you want to use it. Maxwell, are you here with us, or have you left? Okay, he has left again. Priscilla, does that answer your question? It's really easy, just that command, and you have a Linux operating system on your Windows.
It does. Yes, thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Do you have any other questions?
No questions so far.
Okay. Ayo, do you have any other questions, or should we skip you?
Yes, I have the question.
Okay.
And it's regarding the program some set of people ran on the group on WhatsApp earlier today, about I think it's about electric temperature, and the other guy that sent a program on I've forgotten. Let me check the WhatsApp group now. Yeah, he sent a program on the system, like a terminal indicating int main void, and then int aka1 equals to like that. Did you see the picture?
Wait. Did you say int main void or int main?
Yeah, int main in bracket void. He sent like as a quiz on the group. So I'm able to justify, but I didn't really get what that was all about and how you got to. I tried practicing it on my system, but no, everything was to no avail.
Okay. You obviously are familiar with the programming language of that particular code snippet, right? Do you know the programming language of that code snippet?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. I'm not familiar with both the programming language and whatever they did, both with the temperature app they were trying to build and the other one. I'm not familiar.
Okay. This is what you do. Send a screenshot and put it on the group chat.
Okay. No, I think the guy already sent it to the group and they already solved the
this
problem.
particular group chat.
I was trying to. Yes, on WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
on
Okay.
our
Okay.
WhatsApp group. I think
Yeah,
you
I
made a
think I must
comment,
have.
but you said you were busy. You made a comment, but you said you
Yes.
were busy too. You said it's easy, but you're busy. You're busy with the project or something.
Yes. 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 That was what I was about to say. So yeah, that's
Network.
basically a C program. And we did some examples. We handled some C programs before on our very first session. So your question is that you do not understand that particular language, right? Or you do not understand
Yeah,
that particular code is sent.
yeah. Syntax, everything.
Okay. Now I understand your question. Okay. I think maybe we'll also have a session because I failed to record that session. Maybe we'll also have a session that will talk about introduction to C for those of us that are beginners. Introduction to C, how to start it. But in the meantime, let me drop a link on the group chat, something to help you get started. So it won't look like jargon to you anymore. Let me quickly get the link and I'll send it to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So for those who do not have any previous knowledge about C, I just dropped it in the group chat. Introduction to C. Now, W3 Schools, it helps you explain it as concisely as possible. So you can go through this for the time being. It will help you to understand some of the main syntax before our next session. No, obviously not our next session, but we'll try to schedule a session outside of our main session to handle to teach those who are not familiar with C. So if you would like or you would love to join that session, the amount of response I get or the amount of DMs I get will determine if we'll have it as a session or if we just have it as a private class. So if more than 3 or 4 people show interest, then sure, we can have it as a session. But if we have 1 or 2, I can just schedule a private video call and help you out. So if anyone wants to tag along, feel free to indicate either in the group chat or you can send me a personal message on Telegram and we can handle that as well. So does that answer your question? I don't think it's here. If I hear you on mute, we can't hear you. Okay, next person on the list, Ariana, it's your turn. Do you have any questions? We still can't hear you. Let me see if I can. Okay, for the sake of time, Trust, it's your turn now. We'll come back to.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, so your question.
Yeah, I was asking, we use Vim than Visual Code?
Okay, is it compulsory we use Vim instead of Visual Studio? Is that your question?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. It's a good question actually, because like I said earlier, I use Visual Studio. That's when I'm working with normal programming languages. I use Visual Studio. I haven't used Vim before. So it's not exactly compulsory, but it's good to have knowledge of it because obviously we're going to be making use of it in during our onboarding at ALX. So we'll be asked if we have, or it's good for us to have basic knowledge about it. So while to answer your question, is it compulsory? As a developer, it ultimately rests in your hand which IDE you choose to use. Okay. But for now, we are asked to have basic knowledge of this. So for our program, during our program, you can use Visual Studio Code, but ideally, they ask us to be familiar with command line editors. So your choice of IDE is your choice. No one can tell you what IDE to use. It's your choice. So it's good to have knowledge about of both the command line text editors and the graphical text editors. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, on my mind and for result. Okay, yes, I had the question. How do we open that like call it command prompts, like where you get the option to write some
How do we open code
on
blocks?
like yeah, that's like the code we open.
Okay, your question is how do we open code blocks? Oh, she said she couldn't hear anything throughout the session. Okay, that's the reason why she could not contribute. Okay. During our very first session, again, we installed code blocks. I think you were not in the group then when we did that. So, okay, I'll show you how it's done later. I'll show you how it's done. You don't current, yeah, okay. I'll show you how it's done from the installation phase. I think I'll just prepare a tutorial on that. Yes, that will be perfect. I'll prepare a tutorial. Same also a tutorial for C. I'll prepare a tutorial for C, and I'll prepare a tutorial for installing code blocks and installing a C compiler, GCC compiler, so we can code in C. Okay, it's actually the same. So it's actually one tutorial, the same tutorial as the one I was planning for IO. So I'll just make it's the same tutorial. I'll just start from install. I'll only start from installing code blocks. That's the only difference. So which is the very beginning. So yes, it works for both sides. Yes. So I'll prepare a tutorial for that, and when it's ready, I'll paste it on. I'll send the link to the group chat as well as WhatsApp. Okay, let's move on. Eminent. Sorry. Trust. I think that answers your question, right?
Yes. Actually, I would have to disconnect now because my battery is dead already. So I would look forward to those links.
Okay. No problem at all. I'll do that. Eminent, over to you now. Any addition or questions?
For now, I don't really have much questions since I'm just on theory, but probably by next week, which I'll be going into practicals, then I'll certainly have much questions to ask. So I'm just reading for now.
Okay, sounds good.
Can you hear me?
Sounds good. Yeah, again, if you are on... Yes, am I on mute? Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you.
Again, if anyone... Yeah, I think it's your network.
I can hear you.
All right. So if any one of us is currently on theory, we don't have a PC, or our PC is bad, or we are trying our best to learn in what little way we can. You might feel that these sessions or the things we are doing are not, you've not gotten to that stage yet. You might feel that it might be, or it is overwhelming for you. But no, which is why we scheduled this session actually, to be able to
Listen,
discuss, to talk together and see how we can help each other out. So, which is why, like I said earlier, I hate to sound like a broken record, but like I said earlier, the session is not aimed towards teaching and teaching and teaching. At the end of the day, when we ask questions, everyone says yes, they understand. But it's a way to tag everyone along, which is why we have this session where we discuss. So it's good to tune into all these sessions, because even though you do not have your computer or your laptop or your whatever device you might use for programming, you can still pick or learn a thing or two about it before you get it. You can also, these videos are being recorded and they'll be made available soon after the session ends. So you can also refer to these videos anytime. So this is why we have this session. So it's good to tune in, and you can get answers to questions you never really thought about before. So that's for that. All right. Let's go to the next person now. Abdul, can you hear us? Yeah, we still can't hear you actually. Nope, nothing. We can't hear you. Okay, Kelvin, let's go back to you. Kelvin, okay.
Yes. I don't have any questions for now.
Okay. No questions. Okay. Bexy loaded. Bexy loaded. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, though I'm still a learner though, so I'm just trying to learn some things. So there's no question for now, but I'm just trying to figure out some things. Though I have a jot, I'm writing some things down. So trying to learn some things. So that's just
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, having a job and doing this as well, it will be a lot to handle. So
No
it's
problem. If there's any questions, I can just come straight to your DM and ask. Then, or maybe next class, then I'll ask questions.
sure. And again, you can ask anyone. Okay, yeah, sure. You can do that. But I don't want you to see myself. I know all the answer. Of course, there are a lot of things I don't know. Like the
Yeah.
topic we talked about just now, I immediately said that I have basic knowledge about the terminal and shell, because that's not my area of expertise. So if it's within my powers to give you the answers, of course, definitely I will help you out. So if it's not, I'll also refer you to someone else that can. Like our very own Maxwell, the lazy programmer. I wonder why he's not here with us. Yeah, he's quite conversant with this. He drinks this or he eats this for breakfast. So this is a walk in the park for him.
Well, I know with time everything will be good. We are going
Yeah,
to make it.
yeah,
So
yeah. Most
because
definitely.
I just want everybody to at least know not even partially everything, so that we have a very good idea about
So the
what
basic,
is being taught.
yes. Which is why we hold our sessions and we hold our quizzes. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to
Yes.
learn and give answers to.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
So
Yeah.
thank you once again for joining us.
You're welcome.
Titek. Yeah. Titek.
Yeah.
Shout out now.
Hello, Clark.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Please, I have a question about the
Sure.
Linux for my Windows. Can you hear me?
Okay, you have
A question regarding the Linux
sorry, who's speaking? Is it Titek or Ayo?
it's Ayo,
Okay,
Ayo.
it's Ayo.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just installed the Linux on my Windows now with the link you sent using the PowerShell terminal. So
Okay.
I started my system now. That's why I went off the other time. So it's asking
Okay.
me to enter new Unix username.
Okay. The username is basically the name
My
you want. It's just like your Windows username.
okay,
Username you see when you log in. So you can type
same,
in
same
your
way I
name
created the name for
or
my virtual boss, right?
yeah, just create a. And there are some rules when creating a username. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Yeah. So when creating your username, it has to be in lowercase. So
Everything, right?
for example, do not have a mixture of upper and lower cases. Like for example, your name Ayo, you have small letter A, small letter Y, and capital letter O, or in that format, it will give you an error. So if
Okay,
you're using uppercase, use uppercase throughout. If you're using lowercase, use lowercase throughout. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Then your password is an exception. You can use any combination you like.
okay. I can also use alphanumerics too, Abi.
Yes, yes, you can.
All right, thank you.
So, Titek, over to you again.
Yeah. I don't really have any question. The only question I have, I think it should be on the tutorial that you're going to send. That is the installation of compiler on
Okay,
Windows. Yeah.
okay, all right, no problem. I'll do that, and I'll take extra care to make it as concise and plain as I can, so you can understand it. I'll do that because there are a lot of tutorials out there, and the jargons they speak, it can even confuse you. So I'll just try to keep it easy and tight.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Please, can I ask one more question?
sure.
Yeah, please. I just closed the PowerShell terminal. I want to restart
Okay,
the stage of the Linux username creation, but
okay.
I opened it again, but it's not bringing me back to that Unix username creation again. How do I proceed from there?
What is currently being displayed on your terminal?
It's showing the last line now is PSC dot slash backslash users black backslash HP backslash desktop and the greater than
Okay,
sign.
I think it's installed now. I think it's installed.
I no the
Uh,
last I haven't created my username and the password though.
can you take a picture of it and paste it on the group chat so I know exactly what you're talking about?
Okay, okay. Can I make a video?
Okay, yeah, you can do this as well. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, it's still not okay. Yeah, this is because you haven't entered your command yet. Click on menu button.
Any button.
It's all yes, menu button. Your Windows
Menu.
key.
Windows key. Okay.
Yes. Now type UBUNTU. If it's not properly, you should see Ubuntu.
UBUNTU.
Yes, yes, that's Ubuntu.
This one, right?
Yes, open.
Okay. 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 It's open now. So that should be all.
Yeah, just
So
allow it to load.
okay. But do I still need to create a username again? Because I haven't created the last time I started my system.
Is it asking you to create a username?
No, not. It's not asking again now. This is what it's
Okay.
showing. This is what it's showing now. The Ubuntu terminal.
What's the username? There's a structure. Is there a username attached to that? Because it's already created. So look at the structure before is it a dollar sign or a hashtag? So before the dollar sign or before the hashtag, there
Is
should
the
be a
hash
username there.
is the hash sign?
Let me show you an example of what I'm trying to do.
Okay. And the thing is,
Let me.
I haven't created the username at all. I haven't created it in the first place.
Yes, I think it's using a default username. Let me see.
Look at it now.
Sorry about that. Okay, root at desktop. Okay, it's accessing it as as the root. So you can what was the command to create it? Yeah, so right now it's currently run. There's currently okay, sorry about, let me explain it for you clearly now. So
Okay.
when you tried installing it, it initially asked you for username, and then you
Yes.
accidentally
Yes.
closed the window.
Yes. I closed the window.
Now, what happened is when you didn't supply a username for that parameter, then it automatically assumes or it automatically chooses the root user. You should see
Okay.
root attached to that
Yeah.
name.
I can
So
see the root.
it means that you are currently logged in as the root user. The root user simply means the user with the admin with main privileges.
Yeah. That
Yes.
comprises
So
it.
creating a new username, that username you create or you will create will not have the same permissions as the root user. So, but
Okay.
with the root user, you now have access to creating, of course, creating and other users and creating other stuff. But this root is what is used to access every single command because there's some commands you run, it will ask you for the root. It will ask you to run them as the root user. So
Okay.
now you can simply, there's a command to run or to create a username. If you decide to create another user, if
Okay.
you do not want to stick with the root, you can choose to
Okay.
create another user. So just like you create another user on your Windows. So I'll get the command to create another
Okay.
user and I'll send it to you. I'll send
All
it
right.
to your DM.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just to talk more, say more on what just happened. So currently this is mine, and you can see that I have a user called Grim Reaper X. So if I'm to go back to, or if I'm to access some commands, I will have to type in sudo, sudo, because I'm trying to access some commands that require the root privileges, the root user. So without this keyword sudo, I will not be able to run some specific commands. That if I am a user, if I'm a user on the particular terminal. But if I'm the root user, I do not need to run sudo, or I do not need to add sudo to some of the commands. So more on that later. let's go back now quickly. We are already on extra time. Who else has not contributed? Okay, Abegude Adedayo, also known as Olympus. Any questions or anything you would to add on? Okay, I think Daniel, yeah, Daniel. Okay, he's on mute as well. So I take it, Ariana, can you also hear me now? Can you hear me now or? Okay, now I guess this is all we can take for today. Okay, you can hear me a little bit. Can you tell us anything? Do you have any questions or anything you might want to share with us? Okay, all right. So in the absence of no further questions and in the absence of further questions and additions and subtractions and multiplications, I believe this is all we can take for this session. We've discussed, and I think we now have a general idea of our individual capabilities. So things to note is I'll be preparing a session, a tutorial on the installation of code blocks and introduction to C. Again, I'll be preparing that tutorial so we all can know that. Okay. That's for those who have not. So I'll prepare it, have it uploaded on YouTube and share the link. So again, if you've not subscribed to the group channel, please do so you won't miss uh, any of these tutorials when they drop. So thank you all for today. And again, the session is officially over. Session is officially over. So meanwhile, the call will be active or it will be open for another 1 hour or till I fall asleep. It will be open. So feel free to interact, feel free to ask questions, feel free to listen to some background music, which I'll be providing. So thank you all for today, and I hope to see you all in our next session. So let's just see some words by and then we're free. Okay, so let me provide some background music.